kind of switch it up here with my videos, and today I just wanted to share with you kind of some current events in conservation and ways that you might be impacting conservation that you didn't even realize. So we've been checking out wildlife, the flora and fauna over these past few weeks on my videos, and one thing we've looked at is the wild turkey. And actually, right as I was setting this up, there's a nice big gobble from across the road, which is super exciting because hunting season for turkeys opens this Friday. There was the youth hunt this past weekend, so it's, if you got out, awesome. If you're not a hunter, that's fine, but this still affects you. And in the 1930s, in the United States, our turkey populations were super, super low. And out of all the states turkeys were in, I think it's 30 plus states had turkeys, 18 states had lost their turkey population. The turkeys have been extirpated, which means regionally extinct from that area. And mostly this was caused of deforestation. I mentioned in a past video that in the early 1900s, New York State was 75% cleared and 25% wooded. Today, we're 75% wooded and 25% cleared, and our turkey populations are doing awesome. And kind of what allowed that is something called the Federal Aid and Wildlife Act. I believe that's the name. Also known as the Pittman-Robertson Act, and that was passed in 1937, and it's been updated over the years. What this act does is when you buy guns, ammunition, bows and arrows, and accessories, that money or that product, there's a 10% tax on that. I believe bows is like 10%, revolvers, handguns is 10%, and maybe shotguns and ammunition is 11%, but you get the gist. That money goes to conservation funding. It goes to research, purchasing habitat, actually goes to hunter safety courses as well. And that's how we largely fund conservation in the United States. It's through that tax, also through the sales of hunting and fishing licenses. That money, when you go and buy one of those licenses, is what the DEC, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, runs off of. And so whenever you buy, even if you're not a hunter, you know, you like to go shoot clay pigeons, every time you buy ammunition or a new gun, that money goes to conservation. And the Pittman-Robertson Act, the money that came from that is specifically what helped us to bring back the wild turkeys here in Western New York. So I think that's just something we need to be aware of, is our purchasing has power. And when it comes to purchasing a lot of hunting equipment, you are supporting the growth of conservation and the maintaining of a healthy ecosystem. Currently, about 4% of the U.S. population hunts, and it's decreasing every year. And so there is a concern that we're not going to have enough money to do what we need to do to keep our ecosystems, our wildlife populations healthy. And so there's something called the Pittman-Robertson Modernization Act. And if you can figure out if it's been signed into law, let me know, because in my research, I think it has, but I'm not positive. I know it passed the House and Senate, and all that does is allow some of that money to be used to recruit hunters, because we need more people purchasing things so that they are taxed, so that we have enough money to do conservation. That, or we need to find another way to get some money for conservation. So cool stuff that you should be aware of. And also really cool to know that for those of us who hunt or like to shoot trap, that when we do something we enjoy, that the money we spend on that is actually going back into the great outdoors. So check it out in the link below. I'll put a link to the act itself, and I hope you learned something new today.
Here's a map to kind of help you visualize what the wild turkeys were back. This is 1941, and you can see here in New York State, really no birds, and down in the south they have a few. And if we look at the distribution of wild turkeys today, this is what we see. Pretty much the whole eastern United States and speckling throughout the west. And so this is just phenomenal, the work that conservationists have done, and the work your money in purchasing, hunting, equipment has done. And so, I mean, super cool. And I mean, I'm glad, because hunter or not, hearing a turkey gobble is just awesome.